Access to Democracy and other BECT programming is supported by West, a Thomson Reuters business. Westlaw books and online tools serve the professionals in America and around the world. West is proud to support Minnesota employees, their families, and their communities since 1872. U.S. Federal Credit Union, a not-for-profit financial cooperative serving the greater Twin Cities community with new branches in Shakopee, Lakeville, Brooklyn Center, and Brooklyn Park. Waldelin Jewelry and Gifts, a local independent jeweler serving the community with custom designs and repairs since 1976.
Hello, I'm Barb Daly with Access to Democracy. Sitting in the studio with me today, I have a dynamic team. These women are award-winning authors of children's books. They know and understand the feelings of children today. JoAnne Pastel and Kakie Fitzsimmons.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm so
Thank
excited to interview you because
Thank you.
I love children's books. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that you're here.
Thanks for having us.
I think I'm going to start with JoAnne,
Okay.
just because I know that you're the president of Farmer's Hat Productions. I see that you have a new little one on the
Yes.
way.
I'm due in July 9th.
Do you know if it's a boy or girl?
It's a girl.
Oh.
Having a girl.
Ooh, now, how many other children do you have?
I have one son. His name is William. And actually,
he's-
William is one of the characters with the children's books that we have written.
Oh, he
He's
is.
Bur Bur.
And how old is he?
William is 5 years old.
Okay, and you, where were you born?
I was born in Minneapolis, South Minneapolis. Lived here all my life.
Minnesota, all
Minnesota native, yes.
the way. And how about your educational background? Where did you go to college, and what field did you study?
Okay, I went to St. Thomas, University of St. Thomas in St. Paul, and received my bachelor's and my master's from St. Thomas.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
So, master's in?
Master's in International Management.
Oh,
Yeah, in
fabulous.
marketing.
And Kakie, how about you? Now, you have how many children?
I have one 7-year-old, and he is also one of the characters in the book, in the upcoming book, and he's just dynamic.
And
he's
what's
a
his
wonderful
name?
kid. His name is Isaiah,
And he's?
and he is 7.5.
And where did you grow up?
I actually grew up right here in Egan and Burnsville.
Oh, our hometown.
Yeah,
our station's
yeah.
hometown.
When it
Wonderful.
was all rolling hills and farmland, and so yeah, it's been really fun to see it explode
Yeah,
over
it
the
really
years.
has.
It really has. Yes.
Now, where did you go to college?
I went to college at the University of St. Thomas as well. I have my bachelor's degree with a double major in business management and communications.
Oh, fabulous. So you're all kind of in business and marketing in a way, aren't
That's
you?
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Now, JoAnne, I have to ask you, now you're the founder and the president of Farmer's Hat Production, and I'm really interested in the story behind the production company, you know, and also where the name Farmer's Hat Productions comes from and when you started.
All right. Well, we actually developed the business. I had asked Kakie to join me with this business because when I was looking for books for my son when he was about 2.5 years old, I couldn't find any books that looked like him or his friends, and I wanted him to keep his confidence level as he got older to see that there are characters. He has curly hair, you know, some of his friends have different color skin and color hair, and I just felt it was really important that kids see themselves. And so Kakie and I talked, and she said she, you know, was interested in writing books. I actually worked with a life coach. That's how I kind of got the whole thing started.
Oh,
And
so you worked with a life
yes,
coach to
and
come up with
she-
the idea.
Exactly. Well, she said, you know, you have to follow your passion. What's your passion? And when I mentioned to her I had thought about or always wanted to write a children's book, that's how kind of the whole thing got started.
So when did you first know you wanted to write a children's book? I mean, were you young? Were you?
No, not until I had my son.
Oh, when you had your son is when
I
you
had
got
my
the idea.
son. And like I said, when I noticed what was out there, there wasn't much out there. Most of the books were about animals, or you know, you have Dora Explorer, Go Diego Go, but nothing showing multicultural characters. And we discovered nothing introducing younger kids to sports, outdoor exploration, or just being active.
Well, where did Farmer's Hat Productions? Where did that name come from?
Well, Kakie was the one that came up with that name. My son actually used to love wearing bucket hats, but he would call it his farmer's hat.
Oh,
And so Kakie suggested, why not call it Farmer's Hat Productions, because we wanted the name to, if people hear like, well, what do you do? Well, we wanted people to ask
what
questions
is it?
about it. That's right.
That struck my curiosity right out of the gate. Now, when did you start then?
We actually developed our business back in November 2005 is when we officially became an official
Farmers.
business. But before that, Kakie and I kind of went back and forth writing our first book.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, then, Kakie, you're the vice president and founding partner of Farmer's Hat Productions.
Yes.
So, tell me exactly how you two met, and when, and how you came together to write these books.
Well, JoAnne and I have been friends for almost 20 years.
Oh, 20 years.
Yes, we met through, we had a similar group of friends that used to hang out together, and we were close for a while. And then we sort of drifted off into our own, we were just in different places in life. And one day I got a phone call from JoAnne, and she said, guess what? And I said, what? She said, I'm in the hospital and I'm having a baby. And I said, oh my gosh, I have a little boy too. So it had been, probably 5 years at least since we talked. And that just brought us that experience of being mothers and having young kids and, doing it, trying to figure it out, despite the fact that, you've got extended family around you, you see that, but going through it, it just helps to be there with somebody that you trust and know. So we've done a lot of things socially, and at that point, our friendship has grown.
And so you just decided then, you got together and decided that you should write children's books?
Well, JoAnne called me one day. I knew that she was working with a life coach. Actually, one of my friends referred her to this lady. And at that time, she called me and she said, Kakie, children's books, I have this idea. It's kind of dumb, but would you just take a look at it? And I was like, well, sure. And so she emailed me a copy, and when I opened it and I started to read it, I just got this huge smile on my face. And so I made a couple edits, and I sent her an email back, and I was like, I love this. This is absolutely wonderful. And then we started talking more and more, and then we got together and we met and we said, okay, let's write down some ideas. So we're there in a restaurant coming up with these different concepts. And at first, she didn't know what Bur Bur was going to be. Bur Bur's the main character in the series.
So it's on a napkin.
It's on.
You're on a napkin at a restaurant.
Essentially, yeah.
And that's where. And how long ago was that?
2005. It would be mid-year 2005 is when we first started.
Yeah. And then we met with some people in the advertising business that really helped us grow the concept even more, really helped us to form a personality for the brand, which we're building a brand here.
Well, rumor has it that you're the driving force behind the marketing and the branding of your books. Is that true?
Well, yes. I've been in financial services for 18 years now for American Express Financial Advisors, which spun off to Ameriprise Financial Services. And I was privileged to be there during the time that they spun off to a new company. And so I really gained a lot of brand awareness, brand promise strategies, and so that piece is important to me. There is this whole personality underlying a brand, and it's so important to maintain that integrity.
Well, it's like lyrics in music. It has to be recognized. You have to have a brand.
Yeah, and it's also discovering the different channels of distribution, because in publishing there are so many. You've got libraries, you've got retail, and then you've got corporate alliances and those sorts of things. So,
well, now, JoAnne, what is the mission of Farmer's Hat Production? I mean, what are you promoting?
Our mission is to empower kids and their family to become active, to learn about maybe sports that they may not participate in, to just explore the outdoors. We want to get kids active.
Out of the video games.
Out of video games, away from the TV, explore the outdoors and to learn about their environment.
That's it. I mean, what is the average that they're sitting watching TV? Somebody said, is it 4 hours a day or 3 hours a day? It's a lot.
Yeah, it's
a lot.
too much. So our mission is just to get kids active, just to open their eyes, and not just to get, but the family, just get as a family unit, to have the family discover this with their children.
And Kakie, then what do you see as the vision of the company? What are you striving to do?
Well, what we'd like to do is we want to become a household name. That's our ultimate goal. And you know, if we can make a difference in the lives of some of these kids and families to help them develop a passion early on in life, you know, then we've touched them, then we've done the right thing. You know, that's really the core key to it. In terms of a long-term vision, you know, we see partnerships with large companies. We see a global awareness. So there's a lot of opportunity here, and it's we see animation in the future, and we've talked about animation.
Yes.
It's amazing what's out there.
Yes, it really is.
It's amazing, and you just have to figure out the channels to do it.
That's right.
It's just incredible.
That's right.
Now, JoAnne, what was the name of your very first book? And tell us a little bit about it.
The first book is Bur Bur's Boating ABCs.
Okay.
And what I discovered going out looking for books for my son, there was nothing introducing kids to boating. And so, and there was no ABC book out there. Well, we discovered why, because some of the letters, it was difficult to come up with the terms or the words. But we came up with it because we wanted also, not everybody has a boat. Kids play with boats in their bathtub, you know, it's just we want to expose kids.
I love that.
To maybe boating that they may not have opportunity to go boating, or kids that do go boating. So that's why we came up with the first book.
But now you don't talk about race in your books. You just introduce the characters.
Exactly, yes. It's just, you can just see it. Bur Bur could be any nationality if you look at it.
So it's you know, the visual thing that you deal with most.
Yes.
That's kind of a neat concept. You know, it's sort of also kind of in the back of the brain, and awareness comes, you know, when people aren't thinking too hard.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's a really nice concept. Now, you're co-author of the series of books, and the series is
Bur Bur and Friends.
Bur Bur and Friends. Okay. Share a little bit about each of these books with our audience.
Well, the first book here that we have is Bur Bur's Boating ABCs, and you can see the colors. We have this amazing author or illustrator, excuse me, by the name of Lindsay Vandewey, and at the minute that we saw her work, we knew. There's a lot of point and learn opportunities. A book like this is good for children anywhere from the ages of 2 to 7, so it can be early reader as well. And this just walks you through the boating with the basic terminology for being on the water in a way that hasn't been done before. The second book, or that book is unique in terms of how it's done. It's educational. All of the books are educational. Second book is Bur Bur's Fishing Adventure, and in all of these books the children are going through a first-time experience. They're learning, they're discovering, and so in this case here, this is based on a true story of a memory of JoAnne husband Bill's experience as a child learning how to fish with his dad. And so Bur Bur goes on this trip with his dad and catches his very first fish, and then they let it go. And then the back of the book has an educational point and learn that just basically says, I'm pulling it up here. If you want to go fishing, here's what to bring: a life jacket,
so it's
sunscreen.
It teaches them what they need.
Exactly.
That's right. Sunglasses.
In that particular sport.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes, and we emphasize safety. So here, where we talk about hooks, we say only let an adult touch the hooks and put the bait on.
And the most important thing, we also talk about life jackets in both of the water books. It's very important for children to wear life jackets.
Right.
So we emphasize that.
Right, right. The third book is Bur Bur Throws Out the Fish First Pitch, and this is based on a true story. JoAnne and her husband were at a silent auction and bid for an opportunity to throw out the first pitch at a Twins game. So William got to do that at 2.5.
Oh, how fun.
2.5 and 3.5.
That's a dream.
Yeah, so it's a true story.
So it's a true story. And so essentially, you know, he's been practicing in the story, and he kind of wonders what's going on here. He's introduced to the baseball field, and then he goes through and he throws out the first pitch, and the bear catches. And in the back of the book, once again, a little bit of a different style, we have this educational point and learn opportunity where the kids can learn about the baseball diamond and some of the rules, as well as the equipment and here's what to bring. So you can see the point and learn for the smaller children where that will fit in and give them some of the language that they need to develop.
And as they get a little older, they have the story.
That's right.
Very nice.
That's right.
Very nice concept.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then the fourth book is Anna Goes Hiking, and this is Anna is a real little girl, and Jody and Troy are her real parents, and they're dear friends of ours. And so in this book, Anna goes on her first hiking trip, and she discovers all kinds of animals along the way. It's got a nice, upper Midwest feel to it in terms of how Lindsay drew the pictures, and she just did a wonderful job. So as she goes through and she learns about all these different animals, she gets home at the end of the night and falls asleep and dreams about it. And then here you'll see the kids can identify or work to identify the footprints of the animals.
Oh.
And then here we have detailed information about where the animals live, how much they weigh, what sort of an environment are they in, what do they eat. So the kids can learn about that. And then finally, here's what to bring if you want to go hiking.
So they're very consistent on what to bring
Yes.
and what the rules are.
And if you'll notice too, the back, all the back of the books have the back of the children,
very clever.
and then the fronts have the front part of the children.
Oh,
So
very clever.
really fun experience. And
So you have 4 books out on the market.
Yes.
I know that you have other products that are available to parents and children. Tell us about some of those.
We also have a puzzle available.
Is that this?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
it. That's right.
All right.
It's a jigsaw puzzle, and we have.
And what ages is that for?
This is 3 plus.
3
years
plus.
Yes, it's
Okay.
a 24-piece puzzle. We have Anna Dow. This is her Anna, and we also have a book bag. We have baseballs, little soft baseballs for kids. So we have a wide variety of different products. We're creating a brand, not just the books, but also a brand.
So you will expand that as the books go on. Your brand and products will expand.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, you have, I read quite a bit about the two of you because I just love children's book, as I said before. So I had to do some research and find out a little bit about you individually. But you have, Kakie, some strong feelings about stereotyping.
Yeah, I do.
And I would like you to talk a little bit about that to our audience.
Well, I think it's ingrained into our history that that people see something and they assume there's a stereotype, and we want to break that apart. There's a lot of changes going on in society today. I've been a person that has been stereotyped by others, as have
In
my
what
son.
way?
It's hard to explain. Being treated differently by somebody that knows you in a business environment.
Okay.
Seeing a change of a look on a face. It's very difficult, and when your child is there and you've got this, you have to my job is to maintain my dignity and my self-respect, and to let him know that some people just are well-intentioned. They just don't always know what to say.
And it's difficult being a single mother.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
I was
being a
raised
single
by a single mom, and I hope that with the success of these books, I hope that other single mothers will take a look at this and say, I can do something. I can make a difference. I can, go back to school. And I'm connected to a number of really wonderful single parents through some networking groups that I have. So
That's wonderful.
yeah, it's great.
I just want to make just a point up on that too. Our books show not just mother and dad, but eventually, Kakie, her mom has been very influential in bringing up her son, to possibly just to the wide gamut of families.
Adopted families.
Yes, so that's our goal is to.
Yeah.
Now
to show.
you have won several awards for your books.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that, JoAnne?
Yes, first award that we won is called the iParenting Media Award.
Oh, that's good.
And we won that we won it twice, 2007 and in 2008, and all of our books have won that award. We also, for our boating ABC book, has won the Teacher's Choice Award for the family.
So your first book, and you won the
Exactly,
Teacher's
has won
Award.
two awards,
Wow.
the first book, yes.
3.
Well, yeah, that's right, 3, and then also the Mom's Choice Awards, which we just won in 2008. So it's been fun. It's again, when we first developed this business, we didn't know what to expect, but to see that it's winning awards, to see the reaction when people take a look at our books, it's just it's just fun. It's just our passion. This is what we love doing.
And people thank us. They thank us for writing these books, Diverse Families. Thank you. It's so nice, so refreshing.
Well,
That's a good feeling.
it kind of shows what real life is all about
Exactly.
to the kids.
Yes.
I imagine if you're just dressing a Barbie doll that's white with blonde hair, you know, and you are not Caucasian, then it's pretty tough. I mean, how do they relate?
Yes.
You know, so I think it's kind of neat to expose them to everything, not just one particular race, but all races. You know, it's just kind of a neat thing to do.
Yeah.
And the world has moved so far. I mean, look at our president's candidate there. But anyway, you say that the definition of family has changed, and I agree with you. How do you see that?
You know, the way I see it, I live in Apple Valley. It's a suburb. I go to the park frequently with my son. And what I see a lot of fathers of different ethnicities with their children. Just last night, I walked to the park with my dog, and all these children came up. And it was a rainbow. It was this beautiful rainbow of children. Some of them were part African American, and most people couldn't be able to tell that she was African American. Some were, you know, Asian. It was beautiful. We've got multi-generational households living together, and that's very common in countries like India or Asian families. And so, you know, it's learning about each other and learning that we can have all these different settings and still function in society today.
Right.
And so
it's true.
Yeah, it really is.
And that's all kids should be exposed to that.
Well,
and the
you've got single parent families. I grew up in a single parent family at a time when, you know, at least in my religious background, it was not acceptable.
Yeah,
you
bad.
know?
That's stereotyping.
That's stereotyping. That's right.
That's changed.
So
4 out of 5. That's changed.
Very much. Very
yeah,
much.
it has. Now, you have said, JoAnne, that self-publishing is the way to go when you're writing books.
I think so.
What do you mean by that?
Well, when we first started, actually, we were told self-publishing was a bad word. You didn't want to really tell people that. But nowadays, to truly get a book published, it's extremely difficult. What was it, like only a small percentage gets a book
Out of
published.
every 10,000 books.
Yeah, it's a very small percentage. So this allows us to publish the books and also to keep our rights with the books. Like I said, we're trying to develop a brand. So we are trying to keep rights. We want to eventually have our characters licensed by a company. So it really opens the door for a wide opportunity, not just for us, but other people that might want to write books. It allows people, anybody can go and write a book if they would like to.
Well, and a lot of people do. You know, I mean, a lot of people do write books these days. Just about everybody that has done anything writes a book. And so it's hard to get out there.
Yes.
Well, it is hard to get out there. You know, what I found, at least my experience, 5% of this process was writing the book and producing it. The other 95% is marketing and brand positioning, and how are you going to get out there, and how can you position yourself different than just getting put on a bookshelf.
Exactly.
I would say getting an illustrator had to be difficult as well.
Not really.
Really? It just sort of fell in your lap?
You know,
or you knew?
Well, what we had looked at a couple of different ones, and JoAnne was at her hairdresser one day, and she saw this beautiful drawing of her hairdresser's dog and said, "Who did that?" And she said, "Oh, this girl I know," and got the name, and then we sent her pictures of our kids, and she drew the illustrations, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's it."
Isn't that something?
Yeah. And Lindsay's she's now probably 21 years old, but when
I would
she
say
first
that's
started
one of those
with us,
cases where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It really is. Now, you are in a lot of wonderful stores locally, and you said that you wanted Bur Bur and Friends to become a household name.
Exactly.
What are you going to continue to do to get there?
We're, to continue to do programs like this. There's been quite a few articles written about us across the country, not just locally.
Which is fabulous.
A lot of PR. Just get the word out there. We're involved in different events. We're involved in
I knew you were at the Children's Museum.
Exactly, yes, a couple of weeks ago. We're involved with different programs.
Yeah, we've been on TV in 3 major markets, Chicago, Boston, and Minneapolis. And we've also gotten offers for Seattle and Phoenix. So that's another piece of it. And then I think some of the strategic alliances, viral marketing is a piece of it. The partnership partnerships that we've been able to form have been unconventional.
Oh, which is great. I'm taking him to Florida. My grandson.
I always say, don't keep us a secret.
I've been talking about you ever since I found out about you. Now, let's talk about your website. I know that they had posted your website at the beginning. What is your website?
farmershatproductions.com.
Okay. And is it user-friendly?
It's very user-friendly. It's one of those things that's like a business plan. We're always, changing it, but that's our most important thing, is that it's user-friendly. So yes, it's very easy to get around. We've got our news there. I'm not sure if it's up yet or not. We'll link to our blog.
It's not, but we'll be
We're
soon,
getting our
yes.
link to our blog up, link to products, where we're available, and also talking about our concept, how we came to be, what the histories are of the partners. Yeah, so it's very easy. Where we've been in the news and the media.
So again, it's
farmershatproductions.com.
Oh, that's cute. I love the Farmer's Hat Productions. That's cute.
Thank you.
I will now visualize the farmers, the hard hat.
Well, when her son first started, he used to walk around with those farmer's hats on, and all you could see was his nose down. And that's how we came up with the logo for Farmer's Hat Productions, was because it was so darn cute.
We only have a few minutes left,
Okay.
but I want to ask you, you were discouraged by people, JoAnne, when you wanted to start this
Yes.
business?
Yes, when we first started the business, we actually had someone send our book off to New York and to a publisher in New York, and he was very negative about the boating book. I actually sent one book off, and that made us work even harder.
Yeah.
We got even more determined, worked harder, and look how successful we are now.
And sometimes when
So-
you have something good, people try to discourage you for
Exactly.
some strange reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just can't let it get in the
Got
way.
to follow your passion. If you believe in it,
Passion.
it comes
will
across.
happen.
Exactly.
And things
Yes.
naturally fall into place.
So I have to ask you, how does your son feel when he sees himself in a book?
It's funny. At first, it was kind of like, well, yeah, aren't all kids like this? But then, we got into some of the local publications and magazines, and he started to get recognition from the teachers at his school. Oh, I saw you in this magazine. And so he loves it. He just thinks it's terrific.
How about yours?
My son actually started writing his own books.
Oh,
He's been
good
writing
for
books.
him.
Yeah, it's very
Mine
interesting.
too,
It's
yeah.
very into writing books and writing the
It is
words
amazing the
and-
effect you have.
Yeah, and he's,
You don't know it.
yeah, and he's kind of learned. They kind of learned how to sell too. I mean, they're very gotten confident in their personalities and approaching people with our books and
William's
ask
a
people if
great
they want to buy.
salesperson.
So
We have about 1 minute left. So is there anything else you'd like our audience to know about your books?
Please don't keep us a secret. Please tell people about us. Help us get the word out there. This is a good thing. We're doing this for a reason. We want to make a difference.
I want to thank Kakie Fitzsimmons and JoAnne Pastel for sharing their creative endeavors with us today. Bur Bur and Friends is a wonderful series to introduce to your children. And remember, always support your local authors. This is Barb Daly saying so long for Access to Democracy.